Hello and welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. My name is John Tanner and I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host, Sebastian Tanner.
And tonight we're bringing you live to our show on a Wednesday night because we decided to do a special edition called Wind Down Wednesdays. Cheers, Sebastian.
Cheers.
Sebastian and I love a good glass of red wine. And the bottle that we're drinking today comes from Cooper's Hawk. It's called a Lux Meritage. You want to show them? Yeah.
Let's do that.
Cooper's Hawk Lux Meritage. It is the premium brand, and it is absolutely delicious. You guys should definitely give it a try. We don't get any money for promoting it. We just love it. We're fans, and that's why we're promoting it. So go check out this wine at Cooper's Hawk.
And we're hoping
So
that they'll
delicious.
sponsor us for the pre-promotion.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. We've also got cheese. We've got some flavored cheese with some garden variety of herbs and spices or herbs attached to that. Then we have some pepper jack cheese here. Then we got some cheese. I think it's called Gruyere from Switzerland. So this is really good stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
So we're having a good time. You want to try a piece of this, Sebastian?
Oh, yeah.
And then we have some club crackers. And then in the background over here, we have Sebastian's girlfriend, Michaela, and she's there studying Harvard Business Review, right? Michaela, say hi, Michaela.
Hello.
And here we are. So, what's on the agenda for tonight, Sebastian?
We're going to do our usual physical, mental, and wellness, spiritual, physical, mental, and spiritual tips of our day.
Mm-hmm. And Entrefluential.
And Entrefluential. That's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
Yep. So, what do you have on the agenda for physical? What's our physical tip
Start
of
off
the
with
day?
the physical. So today it's going to be for cardio, and the question is low intensity versus high intensity.
Mhm.
So a lot of people get confused about what might work best from them. I think some people put a little bit too much stress on a different form of cardio that doesn't necessarily work well for them. So my advice for everyone is to just try something, and if it works for you, just stick with that. You can do high intensity for not too much time. You know, that's a high intensity training at a low a period of time, or you can do low intensity training for a longer period of time. And basically, you know, like for my grandparents, I wouldn't recommend for them to do high intensity training because their bodies at their age is probably going to put too much strain on their body, and they might not want to even do it again after doing that. And they really can't, you know, they can't go on a sprint because of their joints, the knees and everything. So for people like them, I would suggest, you know, do a low intensity of the cardio. So you can do a long walk, you can do a walk on the treadmill on an incline, go for a walk outside for half an hour, for an hour. You could even do the bicycle. There's all types of things that you can do. And for a younger person, somewhere around my age group, and you know, my father, you could do something like a high intensity training. You could do sprints, do a sprint, 1 minute sprint, 1 minute jog, 1 minute sprint, 1 minute jog. You do that for 20 minutes and you're going to burn a lot of calories. You're going to burn a lot of fat. But I think at the end of the day, no matter what age you are, you can find what cardio you like the best. And at the end of the day, if you're burning that number of calories, that's what's important. You can burn the same number of calories that you do in high intensity or low intensity. So just play around with it and find what works best for you. Find what you like the best, and something that, more importantly, you can stick with it over a long period of time.
I like that. So when we go jogging out here in the town center, would you call that high intensity or low intensity, or is that somewhere in the middle?
I would say, you know, lately when we've been jogging, we do around a mile.
Yeah.
And we don't really try to do
Speed.
so much to focus on the speed part of it, more as we're just staying at the same pace, at a steady pace. And so I would say that's around a little bit above a low intensity of cardio, because you can go a little bit lower than that where you don't feel like you're exerting so much force, but you're going to want to do that for a longer period of time. So for our mile run, do about a mile and a half.
It's about 20 minutes.
It's about 20 minutes. So for that, it's a little bit above a low intensity training. And for us, that works good, you know, and especially there's a difference between men and women when they burn fat. So for men, it's a little bit easier to burn those love handles and everything like that than it is for women. So I would suggest, you know, for women, it takes a little bit of, you could do plyometrics. That's a lot of jumping exercises, high knees, burpees. all types of stuff like that. Plyometric movement is really going to help women burn those that stubborn belly fat. If you have that last 10 pounds that you're trying to lose and you can't, you could switch it up and do some plyo. And it works the same for men, but we just burn the calories a little bit differently. We burn the fat, we hold it both a little bit different. So, but yeah, our cardio in the morning, I'd say it's a little bit above a low intensity.
Okay, cool, man. You're sweating there.
Oh yeah.
Is it warm in here for you?
I'm thinking about the cardio right now. My body is.
You're already starting to sweat.
You train the body, the mind follows.
That's true, right? Yeah, I love low intensity runs, nice pace, just smooth. I get to meditate kind of when I'm doing that.
Exactly.
Get in my mind and work things out, start planning my day, think about problems and solutions while I'm doing that. It's really cool. And then I love to observe the environment. Running through the town center, I come by the shops and I look inside at Brooks Brothers and Tommy Bahama's. I'm like, oh, that looks like a nice shirt. I might buy that. So I'm kind of window shopping as I'm going along, and that's fun for me.
And you get inspiration too. It motivates you. You see that nice $5,000 shoe. You're like, okay, let me sell a property and get a check so I can get that. Exactly. So it motivates you. Not only are you working on your physical, but you're also getting motivated to look towards the future, the things that you want to get. Exactly.
So you're visualizing.
Exactly.
Like literally visualizing.
Visualizing and you can manifest getting that.
Right. That's what I want to do, to manifest it. That's awesome. That's what I do. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so that's cool, man. I love that. And I wish I was gonna go with the next one, so like we can go back and forth. But you're gonna go because you're prepared for it. So you go ahead and let's move on to the mental tip of the day.
So that's going to be the...
And while you do that, I'm going to eat a cracker. Because we brought some club crackers and we're in the clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. So our mental is going to be The Fifth Rule of Success by Earl Nightingale. Right? It's the higher you go in any organization of value, the better will be the attitude you will find. So what that means to me is if I'm going to get employment somewhere... That's just one example. If I'm going to get a job somewhere that's an organization of value, probably something I need to have a degree for, or something, something a little bit more upping in the ranking of the work world. And
like a CEO,
like a CEO, exactly. It's like really like the business. I would say you find. Let me read it again.
The higher you go in any organization,
the better will be the attitude you will find. So, it's not like you're working at a McDonald's where most people, it's a fast food. A lot of the people that work in fast food, unfortunately, they're just doing it because they have to in the moment and they don't exactly love it. And also when you're working fast food, the customers don't really give you the same respect that you deserve.
Here's something that's interesting to me because, you can take a person that starts at the bottom of the totem pole and they can climb the ladder all the way to the top.
Yes.
So I have essentially 3 jobs, right? The Entrefluential Life podcast is a job, right? Which we're not getting paid for. We're doing this voluntarily. The second, it's a labor of love. The second thing is co-maintainer realty, right? Going out there and making sales. And the third thing that I do is I'm assistant manager of a Holiday Inn hotel, right? So Holiday Inn Hotel is a part of the Intercontinental Hotel Group, IHG. The CEO of IHG started off as a dishwasher.
Wow.
Yeah. So he had the right mental attitude to climb the ladder from being a dishwasher, and he's been with the company for 20 years or something. He started off as a dishwasher and climbed the ladder. He became a chef, executive chef, moved his way all the way up into higher administrative positions all the way to the very top of the company. Wow. So if somebody has the right mental attitude, right?
Yes.
It says the higher you go in any organization of value, the better will be the attitude you will find. People with the right attitude can climb to the top. And if you have the right attitude, you see more people that do have that attitude when you get to the top.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at first, was that you're going to see more people with the same positive attitude that are at the top. You go higher in the organization,
they're all more positive.
Most of those people are going to be a more positive energy. But if you're working with the dishwashers,
they're
not all super positive about what
being
they're
there.
doing.
It depends on how old they are too.
Exactly.
I've been a dishwasher before. I started off before I was a waiter. I worked as a dishwasher at a place called JJ's Restaurant and JJ's Bistro in Miami. And I didn't do very well there. I didn't last very long It was a lot. It's hard work, man.
Yeah.
Bussing and dishwashing. And but there was, I remember coming across older people working in the restaurant industry as a waiter and bartender and so forth. And like the older people had good attitudes because they,
Right.
that was their career. And, they weren't looking at it like, oh, this is a lame job. Younger people, a lot more younger people have that idea like it's a lame job.
Yeah.
And so they have a sour attitude, so they don't last long. So it really is a matter of attitude. It
really
depends on the person.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of that in the young, especially today, I think.
Yes. Nobody wants to work nowadays.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't want to just suck it up. And,
I blame society for that.
yeah.
Because like we have all these people online saying, oh, you can become, invest in crypto and
Yes,
start selling your own
exactly.
course. Like
They
if
make
it was that
seem
easy,
too easy to
yeah.
become a millionaire. And
Listen.
the reality of it is that it takes a lot of behind the scenes work
yes,
for those overnight sensations.
it's a lot of work, and so like don't fool yourself. Don't fall for the glamour. Okay, because there's a lot of sizzle and glamour and sparkly lights and all that stuff to sell that stuff because they're making
really
a profit.
feed your ego too, and so it makes you think that you're too good for the job that you're at right now.
That's the
I've
problem.
seen too many cases of people, especially even on TikTok. I saw this one guy post a video and he was talking to the owner's son who came in and stepped in for a day, and he was telling them, okay, you guys need to move these boxes over here, and the guy goes over to them. He's like, oh, I'm 260 pounds, no fat or nothing. Like, you're not going to tell me what to go and do this or whatever. And, I thought it was so absurd, for one, because he's thinking his physical attributes are going to take him anywhere in the workforce. You know what I mean? Like, that is, working up is up here. It's not just down here. But also, it's just the attitude of him thinking that he was too good to listen to the boss. The owner's son is your boss. If the owner's not there, the owner's son is there, he's fulfilling that role.
Yeah.
So when you think that you're too good to listen to what your boss has to say,
There's a problem.
there's a problem, because you got that job for a reason. Clearly, you're working there because you have bills you got to pay. You have your phone bill, your rent, whatever it is. You owe people money. You get that job for a reason, and these people want to start acting like they're too good to be at the job that they're at.
Yeah, but they should be thankful.
But they should be thankful that they're making a check, because otherwise they would be their own boss and they would be a millionaire. And if it was so easy.
Right, and you have to have a positive mental attitude to climb the ladder.
Exactly.
Right, so like
he had a negative mental attitude.
If you think short term, then it's easy to get sour about hard work.
Yes.
But if you accept the hard work as molding you to become a better person, so that you can make more money in the future, so you can climb the ladder, and do more. Actually, if you want to climb the ladder, the only way you're going to do that is to not only do what is expected of you, but to go above and beyond and do more, and then you'll climb the ladder.
And no one does that nowadays. Nobody does more than they have to do. I shouldn't say no one, because there's people out there that will do it.
I did.
You do.
I did.
Exactly.
I climbed the ladder real quick.
Exactly. So, he's proof that
it works.
Within 2 months you can become the manager.
An assistant manager.
An assistant manager, exactly.
Second in command, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So,
you're practically the manager. He's not there. You're doing all of the managerial duties that you need to do, and you go above and beyond. And you do.
But that's how I got it. Was because I did I went above and beyond, and so that's how you win. They will, and so you should do that. You should definitely do more. Don't do the bare minimum. Do more, and you'll climb the ladder.
Exactly.
And so the higher you go, if you walk into the C-suite where all the executives are, you're going to find that almost all of them, I won't say 100% because it's not 100% anywhere, but I would say almost all of them have an amazing attitude. And if you hear their stories, you'll hear that they had a lot of challenges that they had to overcome to get where they are, but they had the right mindset and the right fortitude to climb through all those hurdles, right? Climb over the hurdles, climb the mountain, and get to the pinnacle, to get to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I think we covered the mindset thing. Let's go into the spiritual tip of the day, Sebastian. What do we have?
So the spiritual tip of the day, we're going to be reading from Living the 66 Books of the Bible by Dr. David Jeremiah. And this one is on the book of Judges. You've heard of a vicious cycle. That's the story of all 21 chapters of Judges. After the death of Joshua, no national leader emerged. The tribes began doing what was right in their own eyes, Judges 17:6, and a recurring pattern developed. When the people yielded to temptation and ceased following the Lord, their enemies attacked and ravaged them. Then the Israelites repented and turned back to God. The Lord raised up leaders like Deborah, Gideon, Jar, and Samson to give them victory. But eventually the people relapsed into complacency, and the entire cycle was repeated. Judges is full of stories, some of them tragic and sickening. These are vivid warnings to us that the vicious cycle still whirls around us, and we must not guard against ease and complacency. The Christian life is not static. We're either drawing closer to the Lord each day or we slip further away from Him.
That's awesome.
Perhaps the most encouraging verse in Judges was spoken to Gideon when the angel of the Lord told him, "The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor." Judges 6:12. Gideon didn't feel that way. He felt helpless and insignificant, but the Lord was with him and used him to save Israel from her enemies. The Lord is with you too, and He knows how greatly you can serve Him. Don't allow lapses, carelessness, large faults, or busyness to distract you from your devotion to Him. Draw ever closer to Him. Let every day with Jesus be better than the one before. So the key theme of all of this is that we must break the cycle of apathy, sin, ruin, defeat, and despair with the power of lasting repentance and revival. Our key challenge is to examine yourself to see if you're closer to the Lord today than you were yesterday. Reject the cycle of complacency and regret, and remember that as you draw near to Him, He will draw near to you. The key verse, "And when the Lord raised up judges for them, the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they reverted and behaved more corruptly than their fathers." Judges 2:18 through 19. The key prayer, "Father, help me to resist temptation and to seek You with my whole heart, remembering nothing will change in my life unless my heart changes."
So I got some reflection to express right now after hearing that. A couple of things came to mind. Number one, I'm listening to it and I'm applying it to my own life. How do I apply these things in my life? And I think this will be helpful to someone who's listening. So as a Christian, I've been walking closely with God since 2007. I was born into a Christian family. I went to Sunday school and church when I was a child, all the way up until my late teens. And then I walked away from the church and started living a radical, wayward life. Okay, just a regular secular life. And then I was brought back to the Lord when everything was falling apart in my life. And I finally submitted 100% all in to try it out and see how it would work. Because I felt like walking halfway in, halfway out would never worked for me in the past. And at this time, like at 30 years old, 33 years old, I think I was like, that's it. I got to try this because my life is a wreck. I mean, a complete wreck. I lost my 6-figure business. I moved out of a $600,000 condo on the beach. And I moved back into my parents' house. My car was repossessed. I lost everything. And so I had nowhere to go but to God. And when I did and went all in, I spent 2 years studying the Bible. I disconnected from all my friends, stopped drinking, stopped doing drugs. I just completely changed my life. And it has been a complete washout of who I used to be to who I am today. 4 degrees later, 15 years of life experiences that I've been walking through. I can tell you to this day, as close as I am to God, I still feel like there's times where I'm far away and I have to run to Him, even though I feel like I'm drawn to like worldly things. Okay, whatever those worldly things are, like maybe a little too much wine, or maybe a little bit too much secular music, or looking at just looking at material things that I want, and kind of putting too much attention to that instead of thinking about my relationship with God and how I should be more righteous. And so I think really all of it comes down to when you're a Christian, you decide, you pick up a lifestyle of being righteous. And what does that mean even? What does righteous mean? Well, for me, it looks, I think of the word righteousness as representing purity.
Yeah.
Purity is the goal for living a Christian lifestyle. And purity means that you're not tainting yourself, because I think that when you sin, you taint your body. You taint yourself, you taint your mind, and you taint your body, and you taint your soul. and you carry that. And I've told you before, right? Raising
Yeah.
Sebastian, I've told him, I said, listen, of the bad decisions that you make, because they never go away. You know, they stay with you in your mind, and you replay them in your mind, and you feel that guilt. And so, you know, God gives you the freedom from that guilt. He'll help you heal from that because it hurts you, but it's still there, and it pops its ugly head up every now and then.
Yep.
And so the less guilt that you have from your life experiences, the better your mind is going to be as you progress forward.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like every now and then, I think when we're listening to that, I'm thinking, you know, sometimes I know when I'm starting to slip away from God, because like every morning I have a habit, a routine. When I get in my car, I put on Christian radio, and then when I come home, I listen to like whatever I love, which I like to listen to Sky, which is a British performer. I love listening to smooth jazz, like Diana Krall, for instance. And so like in the morning, it's Christian music for devotion, and in the afternoon, it's smooth jazz or some electric pop music, right? Or alternative rock. And then in the morning, you know, there's times where I want to put on my alternative rock, or I want to put on my electronic dance music, or I want to put on my smooth jazz. I want to listen to some stuff that I love, like that's fun but secular. And I have to remind myself, okay, no, John, you need to devote yourself first to God, right? Submit to God first, because he's the creator of everything. He created the world. So he knows what's best for me more than I know what's best for myself. And that's been my experience in the last 15 years, is trusting him and submitting to him and saying, God, this is where I want to go. Will you guide me? And listening to his direction along the way has been so beneficial, incredibly beneficial. Having faith, having hope that there's a better future for you, that God is in charge, gives you a sense of peace, right? Because the world is crazy, and it's continuously getting worse, crazier. COVID was a good example for that. It really shook me up. And when you see those things happening, when you turn to God as your pillar of comfort, right? As your barrier of protection, it really does help your mind and your soul calm down and have hope for the future. And so I think turning into Christian music helps me in the morning. And then even though I'm thinking of listening to something else, I put it on. I'm not excited in the very beginning, but as soon as I start listening to it, about 3-5 minutes into it, my heart opens up and I feel warm and comfortable and connected to God. And that's a great feeling. Yeah. And if you haven't done that, I highly recommend that you do it. Force yourself into that situation. Force yourself to turn on the TV and put church on Sunday and listen to a sermon and hear what you learn from it. It's so educational. I think the best wisdom, and I've learned a lot. I've read a lot of books, and the best wisdom that I've ever found in the world, in all of my readings, is the Bible. There's so much wisdom packed in it. Like that right there was a synopsis of some great wisdom that's very educational. If you listen to it and apply it in your life, it'll change you.
And especially in his summary of the book of Judges, the part about complacency sticks out to me a lot, because myself have gotten complacent in many different moments of my life. My short-lived life, I've been through a lot of complacency eras.
Well, you're about to be 22 next week, right?
Yes, that's
okay,
right.
Right. So you've done 2 decades, buddy.
Yeah, so I've had a tiny bit of experience. But,
go ask a 5-year-old some questions and see how smart they are. You're like, wait a minute. Wow.
Yeah.
Was I that smart when I was 5?
But yeah, you know, I think with people, it's very easy to get complacent in any situation that you're in. And so the book of Judges is a great example to tell people not to get too complacent. And this with anything, with God, with your faith with God, but also just with your job, with your relationship, with your friendships, with anything. I think people get comfortable and then they stop striving for more. They get comfortable with what they have, and they don't want to keep pushing themselves to work harder to reach a new goal. They've already reached their goals, and they're like, okay, that's it. But there's always more goals to be made, and there's more goals to be set, and you can always raise the bar higher and higher. So I think the book of Judges is a great example of the people God had to show them, you get complacent, now I'm going to teach you a lesson. So don't ever get complacent.
That's great.
You know?
Yeah, with anything, right?
With whatever it is that you do, you always want to strive for more.
Strive for better, yeah.
You get complacent and things get boring.
Yeah.
You know? With
the world's
job,
changing around
whatever,
you. You become obsolete.
Everything's changing, so you got to keep on changing with it.
And the same thing with relationships, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you get complacent with your relationship and you start taking your spouse for granted, see how long your relationship's going to last, because they're going to get burned out. You need to apply that same passion that you had when you started pursuing your spouse every day in your relationship, at least once a week. Come on. Come on. You got to have a Friday night date night and make it like that passion where you were chasing that person in the very beginning. Otherwise, you're going to like get to a stalemate position, and you don't want to do that. So everything in life has
exactly.
Absolutely. So that's a great lesson. Like he used those experiences in Judges to teach us not to become complacent, and we can apply that in all areas of our life because the world is changing around us, and we need to evolve. Look at McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's. They evolve every 10 years or so.
Yes.
They change the face of their, they remodel on the outside and inside. They change on the inside and out, and we should be changing on the inside and out as well.
Exactly. If we applied that same passion for one area of our life to all areas of our life,
we'd be amazing.
We're going to have a much better quality of life.
And it's not going to be perfect because none of us are perfect. Things happen, but as long as you're striving in that direction, you'll have a better future for sure.
Exactly.
And a better experience on the way, which is all what it's all about. It's about the journey.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I think that was great.
That was
right?
good. The spiritual tip of the day.
I did too. So how are you enjoying your wine, by the way?
It's delicious.
Isn't it great? I love it. This is delicious. I agree. Nice taste.
It's the luxe, the luxury taste.
Go best or go home.
Yeah. Go big or go home.
Go best or go home. All right. So now we're going to move into the Entrefluential tip of the day. This comes from my forthcoming book and course, The 10 Pillars of Entrefluential Success. And it's going to be pillar number 7, which is the Entrefluential Consultant. So I've written down some notes here from my book, and I'm going to read it to you. If you're an entrepreneur with experience, then you can become a consultant to add additional revenue to your income streams. In this section, I'll teach you 3 types of consulting containers that you can use to compartmentalize your prospects based on their wants and needs and their ability to pay. Container 1 is the do-it-yourself container. It's for your basic offers. These are low-cost items for people who have little to no money, but lots of time on their hands, and they're pursuing a career in whatever it is that you're a professional at. So you're the expert. You can guide them along. Even if you're just one chapter ahead of them, you have the ability to guide someone who's seeking the same path that you're on.
Yeah.
Products in this container include things like one-page outlines that give them tips on how to complete a certain task, PDFs that could be a little bit more thick, like a 25-page PDF guidebook, or it could be a complete book, like a paperback book or an ebook, and then also newsletters where every month you provide information that guides them along their journey.
That's great. Yeah,
right? Monthly newsletters with helpful tips and advice. So these items can range anywhere from $5 to $50. And it gets people into your sphere of influence. The next container is a level higher. So this is the done with you signature offer.
Yeah.
All right. This would be mid-priced items that could include things like lunch and learn seminars, half-day workshops, full-day workshops, and the highest level would be like a 3 to a 5-day mastermind. And then maybe even annual summits, right? Where you bring everybody that's in your containers around the country all together in one location, like Disney World, for instance, at a convention center, and you bring everybody in and you do like a 1 week or maybe a 3 to 5 day summit. And you bring in a bunch of experts in your industry to speak on their areas of expertise, right?
Yeah, you learn a lot and you make it fun at the same time.
Exactly, right? Because you have breakout sessions, you can have like wine sessions and so forth and make it fun.
Exactly.
Okay. So the revenue that you could earn in the done with you container, and when I say done with you, DWY, is that these people have a little bit more money to spend and they have a little bit of time, but they don't have a whole lot of time, and they need your guidance. So it's done with you, right?
Yes.
There's do it yourself. Give me some instruction, I'll go do it myself. Then there's done with you, like let's do it together.
I need you from them.
Right, and I need you to guide me and coach me. Give me some information that I'm going to go apply it on my own.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the higher level would be the done for you container. The done for you container. But let me step back for a second. The done with you container, like those 3 to 5 day masterminds. Like if you're doing a half day seminar, you could charge $25 per person on a half day seminar, and if it's only for 4 hours and you have 30 people show up, then you're going to make $187.50 per hour for those 4 hours. Right? Even just charging $30 per person.
Yeah.
Okay. Double that if you're doing an 8-hour session. Okay. And then like a 3-day mastermind, I would charge maybe $3,000.
Yeah.
For per person for the 3-day mastermind.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to jump up to the higher level. The higher level is container number 3, which is done for you. This is where somebody hires you as a consultant to do the job for them. They're passing the baton over to you. They're saying, okay, I don't have time to do this, and I want it done, and I have plenty of money to pay you. So they're going to hire you to get the job done for them. That's done for you. These are your premium offers. They're high ticket. It could range somewhere from like $700 to $1,000 per hour.
So you're making a lot more with this one.
Oh, absolutely.
These
These are the top of the line clients. They've been following you for a while. They know what you do. You've solved problems for them in the past, and now they're hiring you to implement a new skill.
So they've got the money to spend, but they don't have the time.
Exactly. So that's one type of client that would be in this container. And you could also do flat rates. So like you may say, okay, I can, if you want me to, okay, let's say for instance, John, I want to hire you, Sebastian, I want to hire you. I want to hire you to buy a multifamily property and manage it for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a high ticket item. I could be making, I could be earning $3,000 or $4,000 a month from this one transaction.
Right.
Right. So he's going to hire me to buy it and go get it for him. I'll earn a sales commission.
Yes.
On the purchase. Right. So let's say if it's a $1 million property, 3% commission, I'm earning 30 grand. Right.
And then you're going to make the money to keep continuously.
And then every month I'm managing it. So I'm earning like
it.
another $3,000 a month.
Exactly.
Let's say $4,000 a month. That's 48 grand a year.
Yes.
From that one client. So this is very high end. I'm looking at $70,000 the first year.
Yes.
And another 40 continuously for managing that property. So that's a high end transaction. You're looking anywhere between, anywhere from $3,000 for a transaction all the way to, $100,000 for a transaction. Depends on what it is, right? The scope of the project. Then there's another type of client that falls into this done for you compartment as well. And let's say you have a startup, right? Because we're entrepreneurs. We talk about entrepreneurism is opening up your own business. Well, what if Sebastian came along to me and he said, John, I'm opening a brand new fitness company and I'm going to scale this business nationwide. I'm going to sell franchises of my company and I need a franchise attorney. And let's say that I have my franchise license, right? I don't have a bar license yet, but let's just say I have my bar license. And I say, okay, Sebastian, my fee for this service is $30,000. And Sebastian says, I don't have $30,000. Can we work out a percentage of ownership in my company for you to be my chief legal officer? And that's called fractional CLO. It could be fractional CEO, fractional CFO, which is chief financial officer, fractional CMO, chief marketing officer, fractional CTO, chief technology officer, fractional CHRO, chief human resources officer. So if you have that skill set, you could go into a startup company, offer your services to be the part-time fractional, that's right, percentage owner of that startup. You're getting a share, like, okay, give me 10% of your company, or whatever you negotiate, 5%, give me 5% of your company ownership, and I will be your chief legal officer and oversee the operations, right? I have a vested interest in making the company grow, because if it grows and those shares do well, that 5% ownership is going to make me a millionaire. Right? I'm doing the work up front. I'm giving him $30,000 worth of legal services to make his company a franchise, right?
With the hopes that it's going to take
off.
It's
going to take off, and it may fail, so I have risk involved with it, right? But it's for him, it's a good deal because he has no out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he did that with like 3 or 4 of these roles, he's got all these people working to help his business grow. It has a lot more potential to do well with these people in place. And he has very little out-of-pocket expense. Right. So that's one way of investing in a company on the done-for-you container, not getting paid up front, but having a huge windfall. And let's say if you do that for 10 different businesses, if you do that for 10 businesses and 7 of them fail, but 3 become big time, then you could be earning $3 million, from those 3 winners, And so that's why it's worth doing. It's something for you to consider in the done for you container.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool.
Yep. Well, that concludes the Entrefluential tip of the day, and I'm done with the show.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
We got it all covered, right?
Physical, mental, spiritual, Entrefluential.
Yep.
That's everything.
Yep. So take what you learned, go apply it in your life, dig it up, look at it, unwrap all of this good stuff, and see how you can apply it in your life, because there's so much more to go behind that.
Exactly. And don't be complacent.
Yeah.
Remember the key theme. David Jeremiah has his key theme from the book of Judges, but I also have Sebastian's key theme from the book of Judges. And that's going to be, do not stay complacent in everything that you do. Always keep striving for more Go out there, amplify your message.
Yeah, and become the best version of yourself that
Exactly.
you can be. All right, cheers to that, Sebastian.
Right.
Yay to episode 21. By the way, we're approaching on October 17th. Will be our
17th will be 5 months.
5-month anniversary of the Entrefluential Life podcast.
That's right.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
And happy early birthday to Sebastian. His birthday's coming up this Saturday.
Another cheers.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us, guys, for our Wind Down Wednesday version of the Entrefluential Life podcast. We will see you guys next Tuesday on our normal show time at 7:30 p.m.
That's right.
Bye-bye, you guys.
Bye, you guys.
God bless you guys. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.